Greetings, Father Campo here. It's hard to believe that it's already been 10 years that I've been a priest. Actually, funny story, I actually almost forgot about my anniversary until my classmate, ordination mate, Father Jared Swear, called and said, "Hey, our anniversary's coming up. You want to pray?" And so we did that, and I'm grateful for his reminder. But 10 years, it's a lot of time, a lot of blessings, a lot of God's work to do. But something I wanted to do on this 10 years was just take stock and thank so many of the people throughout the diocese and beyond who've prayed for me or been a part of my preparation or my priesthood. I'm very mindful that Pope Benedict said when he visited the United States, I was actually in Washington, D.C. when he came, and he shared in a question about vocations, that vocations to the priesthood and the religious life, they're a sign of health of the church. And so I don't think we can consider the priesthood, it's not a personal possession of the priest himself, it's a gift for the whole church. And so we all kind of have a little part in it. And so for that reason, I want to take this opportunity to thank some of you. I can't thank all of you. Only in heaven will there be enough time to do that properly, or even to know. There's so many people I know that prayed for me, but I won't know their names and what they did for me until that day. So for now, I'd like to thank just a few groups and particular people. So first, I'd like to thank Mr. Dwayne Quibido for asking my dad so many years ago to take a holy hour with him. I mean, where would I be? Where would my dad be too if you hadn't done that so many years ago? I don't know. Probably in God's grace have been some other way for me to be a priest, but that was an important part for my journey. I'd like to also thank the many people from Holy Cross Parish that I was a parishioner of when I entered seminary. Father Kale, my pastor emeritus there, who always asked about me and prayed for me and made sure to tell the parishioners of Holy Cross, even when he was no longer pastor, pray for our seminarian. So thank you, Father Kale. Also, because Father Kale was the first person who asked me to think about becoming a priest. And after that, Mary Bergeron, I don't know if I ever told you the part you had in that, a little bit extended, but it was an important thing to me. Something you said to my dad that he told me after I shared what Father Kale told me. I want to thank the community of Jesus Crucified, Father Fry, rest his soul, my longtime spiritual director, and Father Champagne and the many members of the community of Jesus Crucified. You weren't my parish, but you were very much a spiritual home for me. So many of you prayed for and helped me throughout the years, and still today. I'm still today grateful and look to the community for a source of support for me. I want to thank the Carmelites of the Monastery of Mary, Mother of Grace in Lafayette for all of your prayers, in a special way for Sister Anne, rest her soul, for her many prayers and sacrifices she offered for me during her life, and for Sister Aimee for teaching a young man at his first visit to the Carmelite Monastery about charity through offering him with much love a glass of milk. I want to thank the many other people throughout the diocese who supported me as a seminarian and as a priest. Again, there's so many of you. I mean, in seminary, we live in seminary on the prayers of the faithful. I don't think in any time in the church you get through it without the prayers of the faithful, but especially in these days that we are living in now. So thank you also for the people who invited me into your homes and allowed me to share your family life with you. Never underestimate how important that is also for the formation of seminarians. There's a lot of things that are formative to seminarians that the seminary can't provide, but you as the faithful do. Thank you to other people who supported me either through encouragement or financially, the Knights of Columbus, of many parishes throughout our diocese and the world, actually. I want to also thank all the people I've had the pleasure of meeting as a seminarian or as a priest, or you've just been in the parishes that I've ministered in, especially St. Pius X parish, St. Mary Magdalene, Our Lady of the Sacred Heart in my current parish, St. Peter the Apostle. It's been really a joy to share our lives together these 10 years. so many sacramental moments and just life moments. It's such a joy in a priest's life to, be a part of someone's marriage or the baptism of their child, and many other joys in their life. I can say to you, after the joy of hearing confessions, which ranks very high for me, probably the next greatest joy I've had as a pastor, the blessing of witnessing people's marriages and then being there to baptize their children and be a part of your life. There's no words. There's no words. Only in heaven will there be enough for that. So thank you for all of you who have shared those times with me. In heaven, I have some people I want to be thankful for too, or at least to say out loud for you. I'm grateful to my baptismal patron, St. Matthew, the evangelist. I avoided him for so long, something really childish from when I was little, not knowing how to spell my middle name, and that kept me away from him for so long, but he still prayed for me. And so for all of you who think that I write very well, as some have said to me, I attribute that to St. Matthew's prayer, so you can thank him in my name. I want to thank St. Therese, who really taught me how to pray, at least how to pray well. In high school, she was very important to me in learning that. It's a funny story. I'll have to tell in full some other time. I like to thank Saints Bonaventure and St. Francis, who were very important to me in my study of theology at a very crucial time in the last years of my formation. Saint Teresa of Calcutta, other known as Mother Teresa, who really taught me, answered my prayers to learn better about ministering to the sick. Some others who are not saints yet, but they're saints in the making. The church is looking towards their canonization. From my diocese, Father Joseph Verbis Lafleur. I had the privilege of being a small part in the group working for his canonization, but also in theology. When I lived in Washington, D.C., many years we got together and asked we would visit the chaplain's monument at Arlington Cemetery to ask Father Lafleur's prayers and intercession for us in our seminary days in those years. So I'm grateful for that. And also little Audrey Santo, probably around here in the diocese, not many of you maybe have heard of her. She and I would be almost the same age if she was still alive today. When I was a child, I heard some miraculous things about her, which moved me at the time, but I never heard about her again until I was a priest. And I heard about her again, and from that moment on, she's been an important intercessor for me in my priesthood, which makes sense. In her life, she was very close to priests. She wasn't able to speak to them, but many priests I've heard really felt her intercession and were grateful for her prayers. And so I am too, even though now I hope that she's in heaven interceding for us. Now also, I look forward to many more years as a priest. I have a lot more confessions to hear and masses to say, prayers to offer, deeper conversion to make in my own heart. A priest's journey is never over until he dies. He goes back to the Lord. It's like that saying, I want to go down with my boots on. Well, I can't speak for all priests, but for myself, I want to go down with my boots on, taking as many souls for heaven as I can with me. And so I ask for your continued prayers for me, as my journey isn't over until I'm dying, and none of ours is. So we are still a church, and as I pray for you, I also look for your prayers. Not a saint yet, with God's grace and your prayers and the intercession of all the angels and the saints together will make something beautiful, which is God's holy will. So many thanks and blessings to all of you on this 10th anniversary of my ordination to the priesthood. May God bless and keep us all. Thank you.